Story time on why I cut off my then best friend of 7 years. And yeah, I actually wrote some things down on a piece of paper so I don't forget to tell y'all. So our friendship started back in like freshman year of high school. It was like second semester, so this had to be around like 2013. I think we had like an English or a math class together, and she was really cool. Like she had a super outgoing like personality. Like I was the exact opposite. I was a super introvert, but for some reason we just really got along. So our friendship really stuck around all throughout high school. She would do like little things in high school that would kind of make me raise an eyebrow. Like whenever we were like walking together, and mind you, she was popular, she was a cheerleader, I totally get it. But like we would be mid sentence, mid conversation, and she would just dart in the other direction without saying anything. And I always thought that was super weird because I'm just like, I would never do that to somebody while they're talking. So I overlooked that red flag, and eventually we graduate, and she goes to school like 4 hours away, but she still comes back to see her boyfriend who lived like 15 minutes from me. So let's just keep that in mind. At the time, I was still living with my parents, and the only time she would like come to town or like ask to see me is when she needed like me and my mom to like pick her up from, I think it was a train station or the flyaway, to go take her to her other friend's house. At no other time during her stay there did she come and hang out with me. She just used me for a ride. It was my mom's car. Fast forward, we're like still friends. We still like talking on a somewhat consistent basis. And whenever she would come out here, she would only come out here to see her boyfriend. And she really wouldn't even tell me that she was coming to town. Like she would accidentally like tell on herself, like during conversation. She's like, "Oh, me and my boyfriend did this and this." I'm like, "Oh, you were just out here? Like, why didn't you say anything? We could have just like hung out." Like, he lives 15 minutes from me, so it's not like you have to go out of your way to come and see me. And mind you, like, we're supposed to be best friends. And it was one specific instance where me and her actually did get the chance to hang out. I had picked her up from her boyfriend's house. We had gone to the mall. We were hanging out. While we were at the mall, it was like two boys. They tried talking to us, but we both brushed it off because we both had boyfriends. There was really nothing to talk about. And then we went to go meet up with both of our boyfriends for lunch. Now this is like a little bit post COVID, so you could order food at restaurants, but you really couldn't sit down and eat. So we had to take our food to go, and we were gonna go take our food to one of the view spots that we really like to go chill at. On the way to the view, mind you, my boyfriend's driving, I'm sitting in the front seat, and then it's her and her boyfriend in the back seat. She brings up the boys that tried talking to us in the mall, and I don't really like feed into it too much, but like, yeah, they were just trying to talk to both of us, blah blah blah. And this is where it got weird. I get a text from her that she meant to send to her boyfriend, and it said, "Oh, they were really trying to talk to me. They weren't trying to talk to her." I was like, I literally turn around and show her, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird. Like, I'm not even trying to hype it up to make it seem like they were trying to talk to either one of us. They tried to talk to both of us. And why does it matter? Like, we have boyfriends. Like, why does it matter who they're trying to talk to? Like, I just thought that was so weird. So that really, like, killed the vibe after that. And, like, I hate to even be confrontational because we're supposed to be best friends. Like, I don't feel like friendships should ever have to be confrontational whatsoever. But that was some weird ass shit because what can you have just said out loud if you really want to say something? That was weird. So I let that go. And she would occasionally come and tell me like that some people were talking shit about me. I guess like some people or guys or girls from high school we went to. Mind you, like I wasn't really friends with too many people, so you really had to go out of your way to talk shit about me. And she would tell me, "Oh yeah, somebody's talking shit about you. They said X, Y, and Z." I'm like, "Okay, well, who said it?" "Oh, I can't tell you that." Why? Like, why can you not tell me? Like, are you not my best friend? Because in my head, if you can't tell me who said it, you must have been sitting in there chiming in on it too. Because as my best friend, you would absolutely let me know because you couldn't have came to my defense. Because if you were in my defense, you would have told me who said it so we could go handle the problem ourselves. Or at least let me stick up for myself and say something to whoever said it. But no, you want to play both sides, and I don't like people who do that shit. So like after that, like our friendship was slowly kind of like coming to an end. Like the conversations became like less and less. It really didn't help that she lived 4 hours away or went to school 4 hours away. It really didn't help, and it kind of was to the point where I was like, you know what, like the friendship really isn't there. I feel like it's one-sided. At one point, I felt like I was one always reaching out. She wouldn't reach out too much. Like the conversation was just dry. I was like, you know what, I'm kind of just gonna leave it alone. And we were having a conversation because at the time, like I had a nail business, I was doing bottle service, like, and I was working, so I had like 3 incomes at one time, and I was doing pretty good for myself. Like I had moved out, like I was really on my own. It was me and my boyfriend at the time. Like It was just us two, and I was making it work. Like, that's just how I had to do it, and it was cool. And she was like, well, you should have just stayed with your parents and stayed, so that way you don't have to drop out of school. Mind you, she is the one person. If you saw my original pink tote video, she is the only person outside of the people who lived in my house who saw how badly my stepdad had beat me. Because it was one day when me and her were talking, and she was playing, and she like bumped into me, but she bumped into the arm where he peeled the skin off. So I was like, I kind of winced a little bit. She's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, no. She's like, no, like, why are you like wincing like that? So I showed her like my arm was bandaged up like under my jacket. Like, I showed her the scars, not the scars, but the bruises going all down my leg. She was like, you need to call the police. And so if you're the one person who saw how abusive my stepdad was, why on earth would you ever suggest staying there? I left so that way I could be subjected to any more abuse. And you're gonna tell me I should have stayed so I can stay in school? Girl, like, did you touch grass at any point in your life? Because I would never suggest you stay in an abusive relationship so you can stay in school. Like, I know I should have ended right there. I should have ended the friendship like right then and right there. But I was like, you know what? Like, maybe she just doesn't understand like what I'm going through. But now that I'm older, you absolutely understand. Like, people know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. And this right here was the straw that essentially broke the camel's back. Me and my boyfriend, we were going through something. We had just broken up. Like, and I was just like confiding in her. Like, you know, I don't even remember what the conversation really went like, but I was just expressing, like, you know, typical relationship problems, and she snapped on me. I don't want to hear about this nigga no more. I was like, wait a minute. Whenever you come to me with the problem between you and your relationship, do I ever snap at you and tell you I don't want to hear it? No. I sit there and listen, and we could be sitting here for an hour, and all I'm saying is, while you sit here and vent to me. But when I'm venting to you, now it's a problem. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Because I don't let people talk to me any kind of way. I'm sorry. I grew up with really verbally abusive parents, so that's like a trigger for me. You don't get to yell at me. You don't get to snap at me. That's it. I cut it off, right? Cut it off like a dead limb. And I know I'm not the problem because she's reached out to me multiple times over the years trying to like apologize and like rekindle. And honestly, like, I've ignored all her attempts. Like, there's nothing left to talk about. We're all adults here. And I have never in my life snapped at any of my friends, no matter how much stress I was under, no matter how tired I was of hearing about their problems. You're my friend. Why would I not want to hear about your problem? This is a safe space for you to come and vent to. I didn't have any other like real sorts of like, I didn't have a mom. I don't have a big sister. I don't have a cousin that I can go to. So low key, she was kind of like, she was like my outlet. And I'm gonna be real with you, she got a sprinkle of what the fuck I was really going through. I was really taking everything on the chin and not even really telling anybody my problems. I'm over here talking to you about my relationship problems, and you're snapping on me. Yeah, the friendship had to go right then and right there. Like, it was done after that. Like, she's tried to reach out. I don't have nothing to say. Like, and we're all grown now. This happened like what, 3 years ago, and I'm cool. Like, there's a list, baby. There's a list of egregions. I'm straight.
I would definitely have to agree. I think a lot of us, growing up have made the mistake of loosely calling somebody your best friend, because I think my perception of friendship has completely shifted from what it used to be. Like, now that I'm older, I know that the term best friend is an earned title, and it's just so much more to being a best friend than just simply being a friend. And I believe I called her like my best friend because she was really like one of my only like friends at the time. So I really didn't know. I was just happy to have a friend. Like, I had moved schools like a couple of times, and when I moved to high school, I didn't have any friends. Like, I went to a completely different high school that wasn't in my district, so I didn't know anybody. So, I kind of went with the first like option, like the person who, was my friend in my eye. I'm like, oh, this is my best friend. No, baby, that is not your best friend. Like, it was way too many red flags. Over the years, I've definitely learned like what real friendship is, and even I think like the last year of my life, like, I've really learned like what the term friendship means, and I hope everybody gets at least like a handful of friends that they can really call like my friends. I treat them like family, and we have to learn the hard way sometimes. But the people that are in my life now, like, they ain't going nowhere. Like, my spirit of discernment has completely grown. Like, you have to listen, one, to your intuition, and two, to your spirit of discernment, because neither of those are going to lead you astray.